Hey babe, let me turn this light on. I'm dropping in here to talk to you about desire. There are two different types of desire. And when we want to live in a conscious way, when we want to live from the understanding of who we are as being itself, we need to understand that desire that comes from the mind will create suffering. Desire that comes from the mind is originally based in some sort of lack, some sort of fear. And this is where it gets interesting. So most of our desire in some way comes from the heart. It comes from the soul. And as it translates into the mind, it becomes something that we are clinging to, something that we are needing. And we think it's a good thing because it is actually on some level aligned with our soul and our heart. The thing is, though, that when we are approaching desire from the mind, rarely will we get what we desire. Or we will work very hard on an energetic level or on a physical, in the world level to get what we desire. This is not how we are designed to live. This is not the easiest way to live. There are easier ways of living. And so here comes the other desire, other type of desire. And this is the desire that truly, truly lives and originates in the heart and in the soul. It is an extension of the universal desire. It is not just our personal, mental, right? It's not this person here desires this. It's literally what wants to happen through you because you are an integral part of everything that is. And the desire that comes through the heart is actually a desire of the universe. It's a desire of the one being. I want to say that Jewish expression, beshert, isn't it? It's meant to be, right? It's already meant to be because it's a natural flow of the cosmic desire. It's in line with absolutely everything that is, because it's a desire that comes not through the mind but through being itself. You know, if we just removed the mind, we would still, I mean, theory here, right? But if we just say we just switched off the mind, we would still be functioning as human beings, consciousness, moving around. We would still be doing stuff, right? It's just like we don't have the mind going, you can't do that, or you're not good at that, so why would you do that? That doesn't make sense. Why would you be doing that? All of these like tiny little thoughts that we may not even notice is what's stopping us from taking the steps that we are actually destined to take. The tiniest little pieces of the puzzle that wants to fall into place, and we stop it because we are thinking that we know what we want and that we know how it's going to happen and how we're going to get there, what we're going to do, and we like to make plans. And all of a sudden we are literally stopping the flow of life of happening because we are listening to the mind instead of the heart. So how do we align with the heart? We align with the heart by continuously letting go of the stories that the mind is telling. We follow the heart. There are so many different ways, of course, of doing this. And really, my favorite thing is really to focus on and try and remember, learn, play around with, explore the belief. Explore the belief that we're a separate being, and explore the direct experience of what we actually are, which is the consciousness experiencing all of it, right? Even our thoughts, shifting the identification from mind to heart. We can say it like that, but shifting the identification from mind to being itself. And this is something that all the spiritual teachers speak about, right? And I'm holding a very deep desire in my heart to really speak on these topics, and and to do that more and more and more and more and more, because it's all flowing up through me. But to keep it concise for now, there are so many different ways that we can play around with this desire. And one basic one maybe is to really honestly, because this is the thing, it always comes down to you. You don't need anyone else. The main thing that you need in order to know who you are, to play with life, and to create from the desire of the deep heart is motivation and curiosity. Do you want to? Because if you want to, you have all the tools within you to do it. And it really just comes down to exploring your experience, noticing the voice inside the head that is talking, the structure of person that we have made up in the mind, you know, based on memory, physical appearance. Who am I really? Playing around with that, playing around with the potential that maybe there is something more to it than this apparently finite being that we find ourselves in. Because who is Emma, really? Emma is an idea in other people's minds. Am I every version of Emma that lives in every person's mind who's ever come into contact with me? No, that's definitely not who I am. Who is Emma? Is it this body? This body that is always changing? And it's not just this body. If it was this body, it wouldn't be just this body. This body that seems to be moving through space and time. Is that who Emma is? Someone can point at it and say, that's Emma. I don't think that's who I am. Is that me? This physical body? Is that the sense of me? The life inside? No. Am I the sensations of the body? No. And if I can look at my body clearly, that can't be me. If I'm talking about my body as something that belongs to me, that's not me, right? Am I my thoughts? No, no. There are some thoughts that I want to identify with. There are some thoughts that I definitely don't want to identify with. There are some thoughts that, it's that's a lamp. Is that part of who I am? Thinking that's a lamp over there. No. And if I am able to observe my thoughts once again, if it's something that I can look at clearly, it's not me. So, what is Emma? Who is Emma? Emma is a concept of the mind. Just like a lantern standing on my table, it is glass, it is metal. Say a little candle in there makes it a lantern. Law of three. But if I were to smash that glass up and melt that metal into something else, would it still be a lantern? No. A lantern is a concept made out of parts, just like I am. The concept of Emma is a set of ideas, and it lives in many different ways. The concept of Emma changes all the time in here, changes over time, perceived time. It's not real. And as I said, if every version of Emma that lives in every mind that has ever come into contact with me, there would be uh, a lot of dissonance around the different versions. The idea of the person that we are is just that. It's an idea, it's a concept. And that concept has dreams based on what it thinks itself to be, which is why the dreams, desires change over time as we change the concept of who we are. We add things, we take things away. That is not real desire. So when we recognize that there is something beyond all of this that is experiencing the body, the sensations, the emotions, the mind, experiencing everything. And we can drop into the direct experience of that, explore that sense of being, that sense of here and now, that sense of everything, all being, openness. The more we can identify with that directly, that which, where we go to it, we recognize this is the one that sees. This is the one that sees the thoughts, sees the body, experience the body, experience the world outside, experience higher states, different states of being, experience all of it. Exploring that, diving deeper into that direct experience, the deep heart, the deep desire, the desire that is in flow with everything that is, naturally arises. And then we understand that why the mind has the desires that it do, because they're usually linked. Not always, not all of them, but the deep desires from the heart, our true dreams. Usually we have a notion of them, and they will be interlinked because they do stream up into the mind. They just get a little bit sometimes twisted on the way. And then it's our planning and our controlling, our need for control, the mind's need for control. That if we don't understand the reality of what we are, if we don't understand the relationship that we have, the being has to everything that is, can get a little bit screwed up, a little bit twisted. And we get confused. The mind is a gorgeous, gorgeous, wonderful thing. When we really learn to understand what is happening here, what is actually happening here. And we learn to hold compassion for the mind, for the self, for the apparent self. Gets to be here. We're not pushing it away. We just need to understand what's actually happening here. And we do that through curiosity, exploration for ourselves. And then we know our deep desire. And then we just have to let go of the mind when it tries to stop us from doing the things that clearly clearly we want to do. Let go of fear, of doubt, of limiting beliefs. Just letting go of the mind, letting it do its chatter, and just come back to being, to love, to mm. Thank you. Blessings.